Good morning and welcome to this thought for the day for Friday. And today we're again in the book of Judges and we're in chapter 17. Now a man named Micah from the hill country of Ephraim said to his mother, "The 1,100 shekels of silver that were taken from you and about which I heard you utter a curse, I have that silver with me. I took it." Then his mother said, "The Lord bless you, my son." And when he returned the 1,100 shekels of silver to his mother, she said, "I solemnly consecrate my silver to the Lord for my son to make a carved image and a cast idol. I'll give it back to you." So he returned the silver to his mother, and she took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to a silversmith, who made them into an image and the idol. And they were put in Micah's house. Now this man Micah had a shrine, and he made an ephod and some idols, and installed one of his sons as his priest. In those days Israel had no king. Everyone did as he saw fit. A young Levite from Bethlehem in Judah, who'd been living within the clan of Judah, left that town in search of some other place to stay. On his way he came to Micah's house in the hill country of Ephraim. Micah asked him, "Where are you from?" "I'm a Levite from Bethlehem in Judah," he said, "and I'm looking for a place to stay." Then Micah said to him, "Live with me and be my father and priest, and I'll give you 10 shekels of silver a year, your clothes and your food." So the Levite agreed to live with him, and the young man was to him like one of his sons. Then Micah installed the Levite, and the young man became his priest and lived in his house. And Micah said, "Now I know that the Lord will be good to me, since this Levite has become my priest." The book of Judges is full of strange stories which are difficult to read, stories which cause us to ask, what's this doing in the Bible and what am I to make of it? And it would be difficult to count all the dead bodies that crop up during the course of the book. The present chapter comes after the story of Samson and begins a series of chapters which end the book. Chronologically, they probably came earlier. In the early chapters, there's a recurring refrain. It goes something like, "The people did evil in the sight of the Lord, and God allowed their neighbours to have dominance over them, and then the people repented and God sent a judge to bring them relief." People like Samson or Gideon or Deborah. In the final chapters there is also a recurring refrain. We find it in verse 6. "In those days Israel had no king. Everyone did as they saw fit." Or as the Authorized Version puts it, everyone did what was right in his own eyes. This passage begins with Micah nicking his mother's savings and then hearing her utter a curse on the thief and deciding that it would be wiser to give the money back. So that's good. But then she blesses him. That's good. She dedicates the money to the Lord. That's good. But then she dedicates it to be made into idols, and that's not good. And having dedicated the whole 1,100 shekels, she then only uses 200 to have the idols. So that wasn't very good either. And so they set up this cosy shrine at home, so much more convenient than having to go all the way to Shiloh, to the tabernacle, to the place that God had appointed for people to come close to him. And the Levite comes along, freelancing. He is looking for a place to stay, and he accepts employment and agrees to manage their idolatrous shrine. The Levite had been dedicated to the service of the tabernacle, but now he takes on this idolatrous shrine. The passage ends with a classic piece of self-delusion in verse 13. And Micah said, "Now I know that the Lord will be good to me, since this Levite has become my priest." The themes of this passage are pretty familiar to us in this new age, in this postmodern time, when your belief is as good as my belief and your faith stands along my faith, and there's nothing to choose between them, where everybody does indeed do what seems right in his own eyes. And as we read on in these chapters, there is a blood-soaked final story, and we have to say that the whole thing does not turn out well. In our self-sufficient world, where humility is in short supply, COVID-19 should act as a corrective to President Bolsonaro, who poo-pooed the idea of COVID-19, or to President Trump, who would like to pretend that it's not there, and then they see their people dying all around them, or to people who expect that the government can fix it, or to those who think that they can do as they please and it will have no consequence. Micah and his mother and the Levite are a story of going it alone, of self-delusion, of loss of moral compass, of casting God in their own image. It's a story of ancient Israel, and it's a story of our time as well. And the Bible warns us it never turns out well.